I'm recording.
Okay. Hey everybody! Welcome! It is the Addicted to Loot Podcast, episode 37. I am back from my trips afar to a place far, far away. And we are actually live, if you couldn't tell by the inflection of our voices, that you actually can see us right now. But it is one of our patented late night episodes, so if we're not our same quick-witted, charming, eloquent selves, that is the exact reason why. And now,
selling our typical.
and this time you can actually see us mess up live in color on Twitch right now. If you're listening to this live, if not in the past. Oh man, there has been some fun, interesting.
Whoa! Jump at the gun there. Jump at the gun. What are we? Who are we?
I'm so used to just jumping into the stupid thing. I am Brian, aka Atomic Zero. You are Tom, aka Tomality, and put together, our powers combined, we form Addicted to Loots.
Dun, da, da. We are a video game podcast, mostly centered around PC games. We get together every week and we talk about what's new, what's hot, what's happening.
Specifically, news, playlists, things to discuss, free games of the week that I forgot to do, is as we like to call it, affectionately call it. It's going to become a thing. Kids, watch out. Check out your school books.
So
Man.
what's first, Brian?
Well,
New in video games.
I'm kind of a renegade in the multiplayer spectrum right now, in the fact of I'm kind of banned from Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer, which we kind of discovered the other day when we actually wanted to play it a little bit to report on.
I had like 5 minutes and I was like, shit, I could do something. We could do multiplayer. Hey Brian, let's try out Mass Effect's multiplayer.
Yeah, that sounds awesome, Tom.
Okay, yeah, cool. And so we sign in, and I'm just kind of like sitting there waiting, and Brian's like, "Oh, it's not connecting.
It's not connecting.
Server issues." I'm like, I'm on.
I went through my firewall settings. I repaired the game. I did all sorts of crap. I called the EA helpline, and even my tech guy was like, "Yeah, I can't see any reason why you shouldn't be working right now." And then he puts me on hold for like another 10 minutes, and then finally comes back and says, so your email's banned." What? Yeah, it's just banned. Why? He's like, I don't know. I can't. He's like, I can't find any notes or anything. Everyone I talk to says they have no idea why, but we're gonna keep looking. I'll let you know. About another 10 minutes later, oh, there's been some kind of weird random dispute on your account. Have you disputed anything? No, I didn't purchase anything since Andromeda, nor do I play anything on multiplayer. He's like, yeah, that's what I saw too, so I guess it must have been a fluke. So I'm patiently waiting to hopefully get my privileges back onto EA multiplayer so I can check out Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer.
That's so weird to me. So there's a potential to be banned if you dispute like a game purchase?
Supposedly, yes. Like if you disputed a purchase like via a credit card, or you stopped purchase on something, apparently it invalidates your agreement with EA. Like, please check here to accept you use your agreements.
Oh, is that what those things are for?
Apparently, if you dispute one of the purchases, it violates that, and therefore they have the right to ban your account. So, who knows? I'm waiting to hear back when they finally unban my account, because it had to be submitted to like the terms and agreement department to make sure. And we both personally feel like this stems back to when Tom inadvertently made me a renegade in Star Citizen.
You're pointing blame here.
No. I was a good Eagle Scout flying across the space, helping space grandmas cross the space street, and then all of a sudden Tom's like, "Hey Brian, what is that? What is that stranger over in the dark corner? Oh, come over here. Do you want space candy?" "No, stranger. What would I want that for?" And then he makes me, "Oh yeah, Brian, you should definitely push the button on that comm array." And then all of a sudden I've been a renegade for the next 2 days before I finally cleared my name.
You can hear this story in full about 5 episodes.
So it's our big Star Citizen episode.
Star Citizen.
Oh my god! About Valentine's Day.
Yes, that's right.
It's a Valentine's Day one.
Brian got labeled as a criminal because of some little error
In Tom's judgment.
In my judgment, and to be fair, I mean, it gave us a really fun kind of little adventure. It's really funny that we're actually talking about this because I feel like these kind of character archetypes, like you, I'm space, good guy, and the hero that does good deeds. And I'm just here to make sure that everybody's doing okay. And I'm kind of in my beat up junker ship. That's just kind of like, okay, I need $5 to get some space noodles.
Couple space noodles.
I will do anything for these. Those two character archetypes, I'd say they fit us pretty well. And those exact cliches.
I can already see where you're going with this.
Have been the sort of focus, the poster children for the brand new trailer for Destiny 2.
This was the arc that you just went on to get to that. Evel Knievel could not have made that jump.
Way over the Grand Canyon.
But yes, the big news of this week is that Destiny 2 is officially a thing with trailer and everything. Because, a game's not official till it has a trailer. So, big.
Nowadays, it's not official until there's a teaser for the trailer. Like a pre-trailer.
A pre-trailer. A pre-Twitter accidental leak from a developer that was accidentally let go.
Thumbnail image.
That's somewhat pixelated. That Bigfoot is holding up.
But here's the thing. Here's the friggin' thing. We talked about Destiny 2 last week because it was that kind of leak of a preview of a leak kind of thing.
Yeah.
It has been announced. It's been confirmed for coming out for PC. Thank you.
Thank God. Officially a PC game. Oh my God. So.
And looks really good.
Well, I mean, it's a cinematic, but I mean, this is probably one of the.
Looks good.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is definitely probably one of the bigger budgeted AAA games for. I mean, I would have said PlayStation, but right now it is officially a multi-console game. So it's just a super huge AAA game. And the trailer, which if you haven't seen the trailer, you should definitely see the trailer. If it's because you're listening to this podcast, go check the notes right now and definitely watch it. I mean, pause it and then come back to us. But you definitely should watch it.
Nathan Fillion.
Definitely. I mean, it was such a great... Oh, that's right, because the teaser to the trailer was Nathan Fillion at the bar for a minute talking about...
Being literally me.
Yeah, so, because the teaser to the trailer is basically Nathan Fillion's character... Oh my God, I'm blanking on the names, I'm not going to bother. He's basically there's 3 character classes, and there's a pinnacle hero for each character class that if you play one of these classes, that's who you report to. That's ultimately your contact. And Nathan Fillion's character is the one for the hunter class, and basically his race is kind of like a sentient robot, sentient android, something like that.
They look so cool.
They are pretty cool. That was actually my original PS4 Guardian, Titan rather, was that same kind of robotic sentient race. But anyway, his character is kind of he's sitting there, it looks like very futuristic space whiskey or something, and he's like
glowing.
Yeah, it's like a glowing blue liquid, and he's just he's twirling around this really fancy glass. There's a robotic butler scrubbing a glass in front of him, and he's just man, I've seen some things. And he says,
he's telling this hilarious story of how he got into combat and he got in this situation and everything blew up, and it's oh shit, it was so crazy, it was so wild. And the bartender's just robot's just kind of staring at him. He's oh, I guess you had to be there. And then all of a sudden the camera pans out and you realize that he's
still there.
It's what he blew up.
And hey! I think it's the wall falls over and he's time to get back to it. He throws the glass over his shoulder, gets up, and starts running away. And then the actual teaser, or the actual trailer rather, is so the Titan archetype hero, which as Tommy was referencing to would have been me, and the Nathan Fillion's character would have been Tom, is basically you see that the original sanctuary for the human race, or what was left of it when the original basically the original evil in Destiny 1 came into the galaxy and just wiped the shit out of it. They're basically living in this little town, I think it's actually called Sanctuary, and the Traveler, which is kind of this mystical being that's kind of giving us a shot, giving us a chance, giving us, weapons, armor, guidance, technology, stuff like that. basically they all they get attacked, and they are not in a very good place right now. They're basically on fire. Very bad things are happening. A lot of people die. Lots of items are gone. It's kind of an interesting little thing. So the trailer starts off with both of these characters trying to rile up the group of people that followed them.
It's the most you and me thing that
like
I've ever seen.
Like the Titan character is basically like he stands up on a rock on this hill, and like there's like civilians kind of like hunched over, kind of dragging along, injured. He's like, "We have been attacked. We will not stand for this." And Nathan Fillion's character is like, "Okay, you're all a bunch of rejects, but you're what I got."
You're a bunch of assholes,
Souls.
and you're gonna go out there with your guns and shoot Gary.
Yeah, that was okay. So there's many amazing parts of this trailer, but my absolute favorite part of this trailer is the Titan hero is like building up this moment, and he's just like, "We know our enemy, we know our true foe, and his name is," shoot over Nathan Fillion's character, "Gary, no, Steve, no, Gary, no, Gil, no, Gary, no, something with a G," and then it just cuts out. Oh my god, that was easily one of my favorite parts. But yeah, these people are just, this trailer is amazing. I've watched this trailer. This trailer is so good that when it comes up as advertising for something I actually want to watch, I still watch it. I just like, you know what? I'm happy to watch this again. I loved this trailer. Really amazing trailer. But ultimately, it spells out that a Gaul war leader, I forget exactly how you say his name, it's like Rule or something like that. Basically, he leads something called the Red Legion that attacks Sanctuary, wipes it out, and scatters everybody. And
like a real jerk.
Basically, and we've already know that people, even returning characters, even you can still play your same character from Destiny 1 if you're on PS4 or Xbox. Oh. But the only thing is you get none of your items, none of your levels, nothing really carries over, and the way that they did this was basically saying that the Red Legion, when they invaded, destroyed everyone's stash. All their items are gone, everything is basically destroyed, so everyone's starting over. And the one thing, and that hopefully is a good premise for this, is that they have come out and said that Destiny 2, they're hoping to be more narrative, more story-driven. And the main thing for Destiny 2 is the main thing that they're going to be looking at is basically your goal is to basically find everyone, join them back together, and then take over and like reestablish the human race. So I think it actually does have pretty high hopes. But besides that, there's a few other things we know about Destiny 2. Obviously, you'll most likely still have our 3 classes. That is Titan, Warlock, and Hunter. There's going to be 4 editions to this game. There's a standard edition, a digital deluxe edition, which is the base game, an expansion pass, because we do know as of right now there's at least 2 expansions. If you get the expansion pass, obviously you get both of them. And then the deluxe edition also has in-game items, which comes with a special sword, special emote, and special emblem. There's an limited edition, which has all of that stuff, plus a steel collector's edition, like bookcase that's it's like a Cabal themed metal, like silver and gold metal bookcases. There's a collector's box, which is a booklet it's called the Cabal booklet of secrets. Interesting. Schematics, postcard images, and military pawns. So I'm guessing like little figurines. And the coup de grace of editions is the collector's edition, which is all of that plus a Frontier bag, which is this cool, really interesting Destiny-themed like shoulder bag / book bag with also a laptop sleeve in it. And they actually did.
Which one of those did you get?
I have, spoiler, I've already pre-purchased this. I pre-purchased it the same day when I saw the trailer release in the airport when I was flying home. And
I've done this, so I can't.
Yeah, so
just like, yep, pre-purchased. Right, I haven't seen the trailer yet.
So yeah, I did drop for the limited edition. I'm gonna start my collection of video game memorabilia. So I did do the limited edition, but the collector's edition, the collector's bag, is actually based on a character that I'm assuming we'll eventually meet. It's basically a character that decided to live outside Sanctuary. Like if she was a character that basically said, I can do this not like really on my own, but she was going to live outside the city. So she's going to be one of the more milestone characters that actually is showing people how to live outside of Sanctuary now that it's basically destroyed. So that's basically what the Frontier bag is based off of. And that's really all we know about Destiny 2. There's going to be a beta ahead of release. If you pre-purchase, you can get into the beta. Originally, they said the beta was going to be for PS4 only, but even if you do select PC, it still says something about betaing. So I don't know if like maybe it'll be PS4 and then like a PC beta. I'm not sure how it's going to work. But
well, I know that with Titanfall 2 last November, or probably was October, they only did a beta on the PlayStation because they didn't want PC players, specifically, they didn't want PC players hacking in and getting story spoilers.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense. Like, there were some missions in Titanfall 2 that if people knew ahead of time, it would have been like, oh, wow, I didn't, the surprise. There were things to be spoiled. There were some surprises, so.
Yeah.
But I hope they do a PC beta because odds are I'm going to get this. I don't have any reason to not want to get it. You've completely sold me on it. I know that everybody
else
that owns a PlayStation loved it or loves it.
I mean,
had a hot and heavy love with it or continues to play it.
I mean, well, we basically are like one person short of a strike team, basically. If like it's you, me, Regis, Alec. I mean, we already have.
That could be you, dear listeners.
We're basically like one or two people short of like having a raid level strike team, realistically. So, but I'm like I said, I'm really stoked with Destiny 2. I don't want to dwell too much on this because we covered it a lot, but we will potentially be having a more in-depth Destiny 2 episode when we might bring on a special guest to discuss Destiny with us. But I have really lofty hopes for Destiny 2, even Destiny 1 with all of its issues. And I will say, when it first started, there was quite a lot. Was still a really fun game. I mean, that was the best thing about Destiny. It kept me coming back because of the fact that it was so post-poundingly fun.
I remember when it came out, it was like it was a new kind of, the consoles were coming out, PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Destiny 2, Titanfall, The Division was being talked about. I think Watch Dogs was being
Yes, unfortunately.
And it's really funny because out of all of those, of which I played Watch Dogs, Titanfall, and The Division, the one that I didn't play, Destiny, is the one that like people to this day are like, oh my god, that was so good, I can't wait for Destiny 2. I'm like, okay. Titanfall was really good. Titanfall has good, like.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Destiny, for all of its hiccups.
Divisions.
Yeah. There's still a lot of people that play Destiny. It's still a game that people really enjoy and really do, love. And that's the thing. Like every once in a while, I'll have a craving for that type of action. It's interesting that there's a specific type of action and like suspense and excitement with with Destiny, with its missions, with its strike teams, with all that stuff. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's just so poundingly fun. And that's the thing. Like it's always like fun. Like usually if you do like the playlist missions where you basically just I'm just gonna do this level of missions, just grind them. You spawn with 2 random people, you complete the mission, you spawn again. But it's basically they streamline the way of grinding. Good, bad, or indifferent. They're always fun, but that's how you did it. And there's always fun with basically at the end of it, you all would be kind of put on a board. Yep, you died this many times, you killed this many people. And it was always fun to see how many you killed, how many headshots you got, and like. It was just so much fun to watch, and getting grinding for weapons and like planning for armor. These things, which are usually like MMO kind of like pitfalls, depending on your personality.
It sounds kind of like Diablo.
Kind of, sort of. I mean, there is an aspect of that in the sense of some of the item grinding, some of the trying to find items. I mean. Obviously, for bosses, there are like actual specific drops that you can plan for. However, for the vast majority of the time, it's just chance. I mean, there's mission rewards and boss drops are the only predicted. Everything else could just be like you're going through a strike mission. If the harder level it is, the more likely you are to get certain levels of loot, which makes sense. And then it's just that you see an orb drop. You know what? By the color it dropped, that's what level item it is. Like, white, green, blue, purple, all that. And so you can see that. So there's been times, literally, mid-massive, oh god, we're gonna die firefight, I will just be spamming grenades and abilities and shooting, and like in the midst of all this debris and bullets and blood and death, I'll just see a little beep, and it's like a pink orb, which is like just about the highest. I'll go, oh my god! I'll just like kamikaze, like I don't care if I die, and just like jump out at it and just like I'll risk my entire life and the life of my teammates purely just pick up that one item that's trapped. I'm just like, I need to have it. So, but yeah, that's just a good glimpse of Destiny 2. Like we said, we'll hopefully have a more in-depth Destiny 2 episode coming up, but we don't want to dwell on the first 2 news articles. But we have, as you can tell up here, an awful lot of news to get through today.
One down. Is that where it is? It's somewhere else.
Somewhere, yeah, no, you got it. Next big drop, actually released yesterday. Total War Warhammer 2 officially announced with a big trailer.
I'm surprised it's being announced so soon.
I don't know if
I
it's...
know that it's part of like a multi...
I mean, it's been planned for a really long time, so I don't know if it's soon. I mean, it's really a glorified expansion. That's why a lot of people are arguing why it's being called like a new game. It really is just an expansion, so it really should just be Total War -2 or something like that. But either way, it's really just a big expansion. Like I said, Total War Warhammer. It's kind of a interesting pre-planned 3-tier game, as we've explained before. This is just the second tier of it. It's just going to be, instead of doing like a DLC, it's just going to be a big release of 4 new factions, a new
Total War, for those who don't know, is just a real-time, basically, strategy game.
Well, I wouldn't say that. It's a mix. It's a mix of 4X and real time. I mean, that's kind of what its mainstay is. It's kind of
the Warhammer universe.
Oh, the Warhammer universe is
not to be confused with 40K.
Yes, good point. There's 2 different ones. Warhammer 40K is set 40 years after Warhammer Fantasy. This is Warhammer Fantasy. If the missed, there's a difference. But like we said, so Total War Warhammer 2 trailer came out. The trailer did give us a few good things. Ultimately, there's going to be 4 races that EA has already confirmed will be out at launch. There's not going to be any more of that, like, they cut content kind of crap, hopefully, anyway. So, the 4 races that were announced are the High Elves, the Dark Elves, the Lizardmen, and the Skaven. All of which people have been dying for, mainly Skaven more than anything else.
I was going to say, I know
but
Skaven has been a big one.
Yeah, so Skaven has been constantly asked for, even from the start of Total War 1. But with the new land, which is Lustria, which is where Total War Warhammer 2 is set, which is basically across the ocean.
Land called Lustria.
Well,
that's my shit.
Lustria is technically the home of the Lizardmen, and then there's a few other aspects of it.
Lusty Lizardmen. Sorry,
Well,
go ahead. I know this is very serious.
Well, they are Chaos Spawns, and there is the Chaos Chaos God of basically pleasure, lush, and excess is Slanesh. So, if you want to go down that pathway. But anyway, so Total War Warhammer 2, set in Lustria, 4 new races. It's basically a new continent across the ocean. Really cool premise here. The fact of, if you have Total War Warhammer 1, which I think is the only reason why this is 2, is that maybe you can play it separately. I didn't think you could, but either way, if you have Total War Warhammer 1, you can actually choose to do the Grand Campaign, which is ultimately, you can play on both continents. I mean, it's ultimately the same, Total War Warhammer size map, plus this new map. It's that massive, which is, I mean, it's cool. I love the premise. It could sound to be pretty daunting, just considering how long it would take to conquer all that land if you want to do a completed campaign. Most of the time, people usually get to a certain point where there's no more challenge, and they just kind of end it there. But there will be some people that do want to do actual, completionist campaigns.
See, I like the idea of, and I don't do this a lot, but the idea of the long campaign that you almost check in on,
Exactly.
Maybe every weekend or so I come in and I progress a little further, but I tend to be the kind of person that's like, this is the game I'm playing right now, this is the only game that I'm playing, so
that's typically what
that this allows.
That's typically what I do as well. But this should be a really, really good, really exciting game. I'm hopefully that they learn a little bit from their pitfalls to Warhammer 1. A few things that, considering this is going to be potentially such a massive game, they're going to probably remove some of the minor factions just to make the large campaign go a little quicker. If you do the, basically the small campaign for this game, which is just in this one continent, there is a special victory condition, which is called like the Vortex, which is almost like a religious victory condition. If you're able to complete it, you just basically win.
Singularity.
Ultimately, yeah. But we don't know too much more besides that. Just kind of a quick little thing. A little thing about each little race. High Elves and Dark Elves are kind of interesting. I mean, we have what else in Total War Warhammer 1. They're all kind of related, but kind of not. Basically, High Elves are good. Dark Elves are bad, as you could guess. But, very interesting here because, like, High Elves are, like, the creme de la creme of warriors. Like, people think, like, Dwarven warriors are really great. No, High Elf, everything is much better than everything else.
Yeah, this is always something I thought was weird about, or not weird, but unique about the Warhammer universe.
Yeah, High Elves they are the epitome of warriors, fighters. Every militaristic unit they have is better than everyone else's, bar none. It's incredible. The main thing is, obviously, there's always going to be, there always should be counterbalances to it, and typically in the lore, it's because there's just not many of them. And that's mainly the issue. Is like they'll constantly beat you no matter what, but there's not that many High Elves. Literally, the opposite side of the spectrum, the Dark Elves are just counterparts. They're almost exactly, same but opposite. They kind of have similar units. They just kind of have different flavors to them. And ultimately, the Dark Elves they're kind of secessionists from the High Elves. Their leader ultimately wanted to become the Phoenix King of the High Elves, which is basically the highest you can get. He basically slaughtered everyone to do it. When he went to go, basically, there's a trial that you have to do, like, it's kind of like a trial by fire, literally. Like, you go through kind of like a fire portal. If you come out the other side unscathed, then that basically the gods have chosen you to be the Phoenix King. If not, well, you usually die because you're just burnt alive. This guy came out the other This guy came out the other side, burnt to a crisp, but still somehow lived because he's basically in magical armor. He got pissed, he left, took a lot of people with him, and that's the Dark Elves. Lizardmen are interesting because they're extremely primitive. I mean, they're basically just walking crocodiles and walking, like, kind of like two-armed, two-legged dinosaurs. But they actually are one of the most powerful magic users in the game, which is kind of funny. But they actually are a really old, ancient race, actually summoned from the old ones themselves. I mean, they're really, really ancient. But they're just big.
Going on there.
Yeah, they're just big, brutish warriors. I mean, obviously, just a crocodile or literally basically a T-Rex with longer arms punching you in the face is gonna hurt. But yeah, they have a lot. I don't really think they have a lot of like missiles and things like that, but a lot of magic, a lot of basically just punch you in the face tactics. I mean, they're just. I have club, you have face, club meet face, wash, rinse, repeat. That's kind of a lizardman. That's kind of what you expect, but they're really cool. I mean, they actually have some units which are just ginormous, huge dinosaurs. I mean, like, they're just gonna be fun to play with. Because it's like, I want to see what happens when I send a T-Rex into a giant, a little set of dwarves just to see what happens. Just like.
Physics
Exactly, that was fun. And Skaven for the end of it, which is kind of funny because the whole Skaven announcement in this was literally just at the very end of the trailer. There was kind of you can see like a little like pestilent, boil-filled rat kind of walking along, kind of trudging along. Then he turns back to the camera and his eyes are just glowing red. But the Skaven are just fun. The Skaven are just kind of like they have the funny part is. There's so many Skaven living underneath the Warhammer world that if they ever actually could work together, no one would be able to stand a chance. But the problem is there's like, I think there's 5 clans, and every clan hates every other clan just as much as anybody else. Like the main adage, the main personality of a Skaven is just to backstab everybody. Like, it's literally, what can I do to better myself? Screw, there's no loyalty in the Skaven world at all. So that's the thing.
Literally all like rat people.
They're rat people.
Rat people.
Yeah, and they literally they win their battles mainly by numbers. It's literally just like the best Skaven ever is gonna be just maybe as good as like a basic infantry or like medium tier infantry for another race. It's just that there's so many of them that they're just gonna either swarm you or just take you apart. Like there's so many of these guys that some of their tactics are literally send in slaves and then shoot in the melee. Like that is literally just take out everybody. Our guys, their guys, who cares? Just take them out. Or they'll literally send in slaves and they'll say like, we'll just let them just tire themselves out on them and then we'll send in actual soldiers. Like that literally is like their tactics. They just like, and that's what, I don't know. Everyone just seems to love the little guys. It's going to be interesting to see how well EA actually implement them into the game because of how unique.
EA or
CA, sorry, yeah, CA. Yeah.
Like, did EA take it to silver?
No, CA. It's going to be interesting how Creative Assembly implements this into a game because of how unique of a race they are. It's going to be, It should be a lot of fun. That's actually probably what me and everyone else in the known universe will probably do first day is I want to play the Skavens. I want to see exactly what they are. I'm hoping that they don't do just one clan. I'm hoping they do multiple clans, but it's going to be a fun game. As much as I had hiccups and like, I still am not completely sold on Total War Warhammer. There are things that they could have done a lot better. I mean, there are things that they definitely could have done a lot better, and I'm hoping that they learn from some of them. It's just, I don't know. I'm still on the edge about this. I'm excited for it at the same time, but I just don't know how excited I am for me personally to play it. That's the thing. It's like, I want to play these races, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not going to run out and buy it. I would like to see a little bit more on each of them before I decide on it. But there's a few things. There's like finer mechanics and things like that. I wish they would have done a little bit differently in development. Good.
Makes sense.
Good spot to stop.
Take a little pause for audio editing purposes. Get our audio dolphins.
Oh my god. We've only made it through 2 news items and it's been a half hour.
That's those are the big ones. All right.
Okay. Yep, recording. Do it.
Cool news. As we had hoped, there is a new trailer for the new Guardians of the Galaxy game by Telltale. This is freaking awesome. I'm really stoked for it. You can actually purchase it all now. Episode 1 is coming out April 18th. It pretty much looks exactly like I expected it to. Telltale has a certain way that they look, like the way that the characters are animated, the kind of general vibe of it. It's very much, they've got a signature thing that they're doing. As far as the plot goes, they've got a summary on their website, and I'm just going to read it out because this says it, all right here. It says, in the wake of an epic battle, the Guardians discover an artifact of unspeakable power. Each of the Guardians has a reason to desire this relic, as does a ruthless enemy who will stop at nothing to tear it from their hands. From Earth to the Milano to nowhere and beyond, this 5-part episodic series puts you in the rocket-powered boots of Star-Lord in an original Guardians adventure. This season pass disc contains episode 1 and free access to download the 4 remaining episodes as they become available. Internet connection required. So it seems like it's canonical, but like, the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're doing their thing, and here's a little side adventure. It's like a comic book. It's an adventure. So I don't think it's like trying to tell the movie plots or anything like that. But Telltale games, for those who might not know, it's just narrative-driven games. You embody, a character, and sometimes it switches around. And so this is perfect for it, because it could be like, okay, I'm doing this bit as Star-Lord. Meanwhile, I'm going to do this bit as Drax. This bit as Gamora. And you get into conversations with people, and it's very much, it's almost like what BioWare does if you took the shooting and the walking around out of the conversation. It's like, I struggle to say, like, take the game out of it, but I mean, it's like you just whittle it down to those pure conversation interactions, and they tend to have a timer on it, which is a cool element for adding anxiety. Someone will say something and say, what do you think? Should we shoot him? and you have like 4 options, which you would be like, yes, no, wait, let's talk to him, or don't do anything. And you just got this timer that's going beep, boop, 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 boop. And so if you don't do anything, they'll just be like, all right, fine. You're like, wait, that's not what I wanted. Oh God, I have anxiety. They're great games. They got the Game of Thrones one. Yes, yay. Also, hi Danny in chat. Yeah, no, it looks really good. I love the look of the Guardians of the Galaxy world, and this captures it. The humor of Guardians of the Galaxy, like, I should be like the biggest proponent of it. You know, it's dumb and crass and over the top, but sometimes it's a little forced. And like in the movies, it's a little bit like, you know, I'm not like a Groot fan. Like the I am Groot becoming like a friggin' everywhere, and oh, it's Dancing Baby Groot. Oh God, I'm so tired of seeing Dancing Baby Groot. Like, yeah, he's cute, I know. He's now hit the status of like those minions from Despicable Me. It's like, hey, it's Guardians of the Galaxy, time for Dancing Baby Groot. Like, get out of my face. I want more Star-Lord, you know, I want Gamora kicking ass. Hopefully this game gives me the chance to have a little bit of that. But it's, you know, looks cool. Looks like it's, you know, in the same style as the movies.
Basically, yeah. I mean, how's the Telltale game handle combat? Is it all scripted and you just once again just do dialogue choices? Okay, quick time stuff. Kind of like Heavy Rain and all that.
Exactly like that.
Okay.
And it tends to go. Sometimes it branches. Actually, I remember The Wolf Among Us doing some really cool things where it's like, okay, do I do this or do that? And it like completely changes the story if you go left or right. Yeah, Danny's got it. QTEs.
Yep.
And they're mostly, I think there are some, correct me if I'm wrong, Danny, but I think there are some that you can fail, but others where it's like, okay, you did this, so this is the outcome now, rather than, you know. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, there are some, at least in the Game of Thrones one, where you could just legitimately die, and it's like, wait, no, this is not your time to die. Like, you wait. You'll get your chance. But sometimes they do give you the opportunity of like, oh shit, you screwed up. Oh well, you're gonna have to live with that consequence. Yeah, and sometimes you can die. So I'm stoked. I'm jazzed for it. I'm not gonna pre-order it, but I'm probably gonna buy it the first time I see it on a good sale, because I have like a list of like 40 plus games right now that I need to get through.
Yeah, there's too many games coming out. It's that time of the year where there's just everything and everything's coming out or will be coming out.
I'm still going through stuff from like 2014, like video games. Speaking of cool, fun, poppy, adventurous video games.
Segue.
I don't know where you are.
Throwing it over there. Agents of Mayhem, a little game that we covered. I can't even remember how long ago now. It's kind of like it's the oh my god, Saints Row, kind of not 5, but it's kind of a continuation of a Saints Row, kind of like an over-the-top action game set in the Saints Row universe.
It's really funny because it's like Saints Row, the history of Saints Row. Saints Row 1 came out and it was like a GTA clone, and it wasn't really a good one, but it was enough that people were like, huh, okay. And then Saints Row 2 came out and was a little bit like, it knew what it did right, so it kind of honed in on that. And then Saints Row 3 was like the ultimate joke. Like, everything about that game was parody. It's like, okay, what if like the cast of GTA, like, you know, insert GTA game here, was self-aware? Like, they knew that they were, yeah, we're gangsters, and we're awesome, and we're famous, and like, oh, we're gonna, you know, promote our own self-image and have officially licensed energy drinks with our logo on it and stuff like that. And then Saints Row 4 was like, okay, what if we threw them into the Matrix and gave them superpowers? And it's so good. Like, the writing in Saints Row 4, you and I have...
we need to finish that.
I've played that game 1,000 times. It's absolutely essential. I think if you ever see Saints Row 4, God, you can get, like, the whole package for, like, $5 nowadays. It's so funny. It's just, it parodies everything. Movies, video games, books, film, in a really, like, appreciative way. It's not satire where it's like, haha, it's like, hey, you know, Potter. Yeah, we got a reference to Harry Potter in our
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
You're just like, oh my god, that's great. The characters are actually really likable and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what this is like not like an alt universe, but kind
No,
of.
it's actually in Saints Row 4. There's multiple endings. It is confirmed that this one is the continuation of one of those ending choices.
There's multiple endings for the last like DLC.
Hell out of hell.
Get out of hell.
Get out of hell. Yeah, there's multiple endings in that game, and if depending on what you choose, this is actually a continuation of one of those options. I actually wrote it down. So there's one of the options where if you choose God to basically recreate the world, he recreates the world that this is continuing in.
Okay. So
Basically,
it's like literally alternate universe.
Yeah, because he basically like recreates the world, like starts over, and the characters that were in your group in Saints Row 4, actually they become like detectives and stuff like that, and like they become police officers, and that's what this is. All the selectable characters are those people.
Really?
Yeah.
I know I saw at least one of them was.
Yeah, there's 12 characters, and they're all tied to previous Saints Row games or like your previous crew and stuff like that. Yeah.
Really?
I just watched the PC Gamer on this, so that's like, yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. Like, there's like the one rapper who's like your like secretary of communication or something in Saints Row 4.
Pierce I saw was in there, but
He's one of them. There's a
wrong,
Russian guy from Saints Row 4 that's also in there. One of the like most of the girls are also similar. I forget what it is. They picked out a good amount of them. They showed how they tied into it, but yeah. So it looks like an interesting game. I mean, we're gonna link two very distinctive visions and views on this game. The first one was kind of reflective of what I thought about this game, at least visually through the videos. I mean, it just looks like a fun game. I mean, it doesn't look like it doesn't look like a very deep game. It doesn't look like a game that's gonna like set new boundaries. But it looks like a fun game.
I'm a big
someone said it was kind of like Overwatch meets like Crackdown meets like Mass Effect combat. Like it's kind of, it's just real. It's like high octane, really flashy, explosion filled arcade combat. Like it's like you're teleporting everywhere. Your gun is just insane. Your abilities are just way over the top. Your enemies come from everywhere. It's just massive carnage. I mean, it just looked like a fun little game.
I liked the concept that basically you choose like a loadout, quote unquote, of like three
characters,
heroes,
yeah.
And you could switch at any time between them. So you could be like, oh god, I need the guy that's like the guy with the big gun, or now I need the girl that's like really fast or something like
Basically,
that.
yeah, you actually can combine your synergies based on the groups that you have by quickly switching in and out of them. You can actually like prime and set up abilities of other players or other characters and things like that. And then the flip side of this was another article that basically just said that this is like one of the most shallow games they've ever played, and it's like so lackluster that they could never see any like hope for it. So I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So I'm kind of interesting to see where the averages tend to trend when it gets closer to release. But yeah, there's 12 playable characters, and one of the things that I thought was interesting that might actually be a very valid point in the This Game Sucks article was that Saints Row always found itself and like established itself based on the fact that you created a character that you could just do whatever the hell you want with.
Saints Row 4 has one of the best, or Saints Row in general has like one of the best character creators, not just in the terms of options, but it's also it's incredibly liberal. Like if you're like, I want to be a big fucking burly dude with a big old beard and a gorgeous gown, like you can do that, and it's just like, all right, shit, I don't care, go for it.
Yeah, and then like the problem is with this game, you are hard coded to select these 12 characters. Like you don't get to make your own character. So I'm like, oh, I can kind of. Exactly. I'm like, I can kind of see that, but it still looks like a fun game. And even that the video that you linked, where they literally just showed like a minute of dialogue, where literally one of the characters is interfacing with a fast food, like a fast food drive-through intercom system or like a microphone system. It's just like a clown face, and it's like, "Can we take your order?" And it's just this character going back and forth with this attendant, and it's just like, it's Saints Row humor. It's pure, unadulterated Saints Row humor, and it's just fun. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
it's a little bit, it's sort of my same problem with Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I love Saints Row, I love Guardians of the Galaxy, but there's a few times, and I did see this in the video too, where it's like you're fighting this one.
Too many ball jokes.
Yeah, he's shooting energy balls at you, and it's like, "Here come my giant balls, watch out for my huge balls, quick, we've got to shoot his gigantic balls," and this goes on for like ever. And it's, you know, even the first time it's like an eye-rolling kind of joke, and then by the end you're like, wow, I just am done with this, you know. So, I mean, I'm not saying that that's indicative of the whole game, but it's like, that is, prepare for that. Like,
yeah.
That is a Saints Row kind of thing.
And that's the thing.
And Saints Row is a little bit more like, you know, I don't know, there's something a little bit sharper about Saints Row. It's a little bit more clever, I want to say.
That was one of the reasons why I loved South Park: The Stick of Truth so much, was because I expected it to be that game going into it, and it actually was very well written. Like it was like smart, intelligent, comedic writing. Like, even the jokes that were like literally your dad's testicles about ready to smash you was well done. Like, it was like well presented. It was well positioned. It wasn't over the top. What was that? Literally top tier balls. Like, you literally had to have a battle while dodging them. I mean, it was just fun. It was extremely well done. I mean, it was a really good game. I'm really hoping the Fractured Butthole continues on it, considering it is like the Marvel's hero version of it.
Like, here's the thing. The name The Fractured
Butthole.
I laugh about that every single time, and that's so dumb, but it's like...
penis.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, no, Agents of Mayhem looks like it could be fun. I worry about it being... It doesn't really look like... This is hard, but like, it doesn't look like a $60 game, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look like something...
That's a good point.
$60, I'd be like, But if you told me this was 30, I'd be like, oh, yeah. If you told me it was 20, I'd be like, whoa, shit, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid point. I'm not sure what the story in this game really is, or lack thereof. I really think the majority of the game is going to be carried by the variety of the combat. I mean, you have 12 characters. I'm only hoping that there's going to be a multitude of different enemy types and classes. So I feel like that's where you're going to get all your variety from. It's not going to be like, oh my god, this story is really accelerating, I can't stop it, oh my god. It's just gonna be, there's so much action going on the screen, I really should have picked this other dude for this mission. That's really, I feel like that's gonna be the most of this game. So I would agree with you on that one. I don't think it should be a full-priced game at launch, at least with what I've seen so far.
Yeah, it has to do a little bit more.
Speaking of really interesting little games, Stationeers is a if you looked at Stationeers, I almost thought like, oh, this looks like Minecraft but with space stations. And then you figure out, or then you learn that it actually is from the same developer that brought us DayZ, out of all people. Like, really? DayZ? Out of when I first read them, like, this has to be a typo, but no, literally the guy who did DayZ gave us this cutesy, blocky, pixelated space station managing game. Like,
on first blush, it looks almost like, if you ever browse through Steam's free games or early access games, there's a ton of games that look like this that come through. Now, I'm not saying that this is bad, but I just mean there's this certain style of like, hey, Minecraft is popular, let's make our characters look like Minecraft.
Yeah, all big, square, blocky.
Yeah. But I guess what this is doing, this Stationeers, which, by the way, has one of the best damn logos I've ever seen. It is so cool. It looks like this sci-fi like sticker that you'd see on like packaging or something. Got this kind of holographic sheen to it. Oh man, it is my kink. It's what I get off on. So This is actually first-person kind of take on the game Space Station 13. If anyone's ever played that, I haven't, but I know that that's a popular game from about 15, maybe less than that.
1500s, you know.
15,000 years ago. And I guess this is just it's like a I don't know, it's a space station building and management.
It's a space station builder and managing game. You're basically and if you choose to.
I'm just looking at that logo right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna try to get it on the screen, but my internet's not being happy. But yeah, it's a space station building and managing game. You're in charge of creating and managing a space station with solo or with multiplayer with a few other people. But yeah, you got to worry about all the utilities and stuff like that of the game. I'm trying to figure out where I saw it. Atmospheres, power generation, medical, agricultural, food, gravity are all things that you have to be in charge of managing throughout this game. So I actually think it should be a pretty cool game. And if you're looking at all the stills, there's a lot of cool things here. I'm not sure what level it's going to be in terms of like how much interconnectivity do you have to worry about. Like, do you need to know how to run pipes? Do you need to know how to like? I'm hoping it's just
that one game that's kind of like that Space Engineers.
Yeah, it's a pretty common one. I'm hoping it's just going to be like modules. Like, we need to build an agriculture module. So you go over, you select it, you plop it down, and you build stuff around it or things like that. Or you like basically you plop it down and you just need to make sure that you have enough energy in the station to run it, kind of thing. But
you give me something that's like FTL too, like, oh shit, we're under attack or something.
I'm hoping there'd be like defensives.
Yeah.
Like, oh crap, this
room or that room.
They took out one of our generators. We have to start shutting stuff down, and then but the only way to do it is like the space down to that room or something like that. That would be kind of cool.
Some of the most gripping moments in FTL. If no one's ever played FTL,
that's a fun little game.
It's an incredible game. FTL is like iconic with a capital I and a trademark after that. Like that is a legendary video game where you are piloting a ship and you have a random kind of collection of stuff, like your crew is randomized and stuff like that, and you are just constantly fighting for survival. You're being attacked, you're being chased at all times. You're kind of just progressing towards this end goal. Basically, it's the type of game where you survive as long as you can, die, try again. You do a little better each time.
It's a roguelite, ultimately.
Right. The key, moment of action in that game is, okay, we're in combat with a pirate ship. That's, a ship of pirates, not a floating pirate ship.
Arg, matey.
Boop, yar. Ahoy, matey bot. So you're under attack by space pirates, and they've, like you said, they've knocked out one of your generators, and you only have so much power in your ship. And you're like, okay, do I power my guns to fire back? Do I power my
oxygen?
My oxygen in my rooms, or do I power my warp drive and try and get out of here? And so then you just hit this point where it's like, fuck it, oxygen's got to go. And so you see everyone in the ship, the oxygen levels go down, everyone's slowly suffocating, but you're seeing, I could maybe warp out of here before all the oxygen goes out. And
hopefully.
Everyone's dying. Oh no, a pirate has beamed onto the ship. That room's on fire, and oh my god, we just lost one of our wings. And it's boom, you warp out, you're safe. And it's like, okay, power to the oxygen, power to the shields, power to everything. Oh my god. Damage report.
My favorite thing to do in FTL was always just to get everyone to one room and just open all the airlocks. I'm just gonna void the ship of all air just so I can
legitimate strategy.
Yeah, you can kill off all your fire. Yeah, it kills off fire and intruders. What more do you want? That was my main strategy. I'm just hoping that my air I can just suffocate people before they can actually get to.
Everyone always report to the mess hall. It's the only room with oxygen.
Oxygen raised. Ultimately, is what I got at. But Stationeers. But the main reason why we wanted to highlight Stationeers is because we literally were talking about this back during when we were playing Star Citizen back in February. We actually were talking about we would love a game where we just were responsible for a space station. Growing it, managing it. Okay, Tom, we have a guy coming in on landing pad 2. Make sure you can go down there and just toggle the switches or whatever else.
How cool would that be? Honestly, I love that.
And like, oh god, there's a pirate that warped into the sector. Let's make sure we pilot in the defenses and make sure we have enough. Like, literally just a spaceport simulator.
Running a comms thing, like, okay, quick, we need these, this information. Yeah, we got that coming in from this guy,
Yeah, like I think it would just be so cool to actually do the flip side of a lot of these games and actually do the spaceport. I think it'd be fun. I'm not sure what level of interconnectivity this space. Oh my god. Stationeers will actually have. Like, I don't know if it's literally just going to be like Minecraft in space. Like, you just have to just make your space station go eternally and just see what happens, or if there's actually going to be events and things like that. I'm hoping there's going to have more of it, but we'll stay tuned on that one. There's just not a lot of information coming out right now.
Yep.
And speaking of things coming out right now, throwing it back over to Tom. That's over there. Yes.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. So wow, the internet is really a buzz right now because Ron Gilbert's new game, Thimbleweed Park, has been released. Like, I know that they've been talking about, or he rather has been really like talking about this and hyping it, but I didn't know that the release was like literally about to happen. And then all of a sudden I signed on to Twitter and it's just like, Thimbleweed Park is coming out in 10 minutes. Oh, okay. Ron Gilbert is one of the key guys behind the early Monkey Island games. Maniac Mansion, I think he did. Oh, sorry.
Sure.
Hi. Is this better?
We were working on that technically ahead of the cast. We still don't know exactly what's going on with it, but
my volume levels just kind of have a mind of their own. I'll try and talk into here. So Ron Gilbert has released Thimbleweed Park, which is an adventure game, like point and click adventure game in the vein of classic LucasArts, that era of early Monkey Island, Maniac Mansion. You have a character, you have basically a screen, and you're looking for something, and you've got like look or check my inventory or pick up thing or talk or examine, and you just got your key kind of story that you're following all the way through. This is just, I think, just meant to really emulate that. It's being reviewed incredibly well.
Very well.
Really like it. I'm not a huge fan of point-and-click adventure games.
Really?
I played
really?
Return to Zork. Yeah, I played Return to Zork forever ago, and I always kind of was burnt by that because very early on in that game, you have this little route. Like, this is literally on the opening screen. You have this route that's like a plant root or vine growing up in front of you, and you had 4 options. It was like look, pick up, touch, or dig it up. And so I just always was like, okay, pick it up, and it's like you pick up the root. And I don't know, adventure games, point and click adventure games at their core are always like really obtuse. Like, oh, of course I had to use the bottle cap on the tractor's pulley in order to get the duck out of the bar. It's like, duh. You're always kind of like trying to figure out what the hell the developers had in mind, and they're like almost like obtuse on purpose, like just to be annoying. Or like, that's random. That's so random. I don't like random for the sake of random. Give me something that makes sense. But anyway, so I progressed through Zork, and I was doing online walkthroughs and stuff like that. And I got to this point where I was just like, I cannot figure this out. It says, give the vine to this person. Give the vine, or something like that. Give the vine to this person. And it's like, oh, you picked up the vine? No, you were supposed to dig it up instead, because then it would stay alive. You picked it up and it died in your hand, like, through the adventure. I'm like, you're telling me that, like, weeks worth of playing this game, and I made a mistake on day 1 that I can't, like, fix. It's not like, oh, well, there's a way around that, just put it in water or something. No, that means you got to start the game over from the very beginning, from the first thing that you did. And I'm sure probably someone somewhere in the development was like, oh, this is gonna fuck someone over, this is gonna be so funny. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. So that kind of stuff, kind of, I don't know, it's not really my jam. That's exactly what this game is doing. You know, it almost looks like it's riffing on the X-Files a little bit. Music sounds good. Visually, it's kind of got a really specific art style that I don't really jive with either. I feel like I'm hating on it. I'm not. But for me, this is really like not my thing. But it's out. If you're into that, go play it. It's got some cool stuff, I guess, that it's doing. I guess if you're into that, this is a good one.
Hooray!
That's all I can really say on it. Let's take a quick pause.
Yep, we're thinking the same thing.
For the sake of right. That's good.
You good?
Hang on. Yes.
Going.
Here is something that I'm not going to hate on.
No.
This is friggin' awesome.
Literally, it's called Rad. It's the very start of our title inside of our Google Doc.
That's how you know that I wrote something.
Rad.
Rad. Brian?
Thanks, Tom.
Hot.
So, a huge update has come to Heroes of the Storm, a game that Tom and I have, in no lack of words, explained how much we enjoyed and have loved this game.
Game that changed your opinion about MOBA.
Exactly. I mean, it's an enjoyable little MOBA. But there's a new, big, massive update that they're kind of calling Heroes of the Storm 2.0. Huge update. I need to make sure I get all the little things on it. A lot of the main things is that they are implementing Overwatch-like reward systems in the sense of they are giving loot chests now instead of just, it used to just be either real-life currency or in-game currency. A lot of visual customization was locked behind real-life money. Everything now is in play, and they all can be found via loot chests that are rewarded per levels and stuff like that. And I think some of the cooler things are that you can get hero-specific loot chests based on your play preferences. If you really just hone in on like a character, let's say like Kerrigan, you'll get a Kerrigan loot chest or something like that. So there's all sorts of different things. And also they retooled the way that levels scale so that you will move up more consistently even through higher levels. So they said now, it used to be that it could take up to 15 hours to get a single level up with a hero between levels of 10 to 20, and now it only takes 2 to 3. So they increased level speed by like 15%, level progression by 15 or 5%.
There's this great image that's out there that shows a comparison, and it's like it hits me because it's like these giant like skyscraper bars of difference for like level 1 takes this much, level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like you can't even see how far it goes to get to level 10, and it's like. And
now they're all kind of dwarfing it, or now they're all much well balanced. But yeah,
the time that it originally took you, it looks like to get to about 7 is how much you can get to 11. And it just
it's about like that. But I mean, there's a huge change. I mean, I love the fact that they went the loot chest based reward systems.
Yeah.
I love because it's gonna make me want to play different characters if I get a gold level skin for some random dude that I've never tried. I do love that fact. So there's and they also released new items.
I get a cool skin for a character in Overwatch, and I'm like, shit, I kind of want to play them just to see what this looks like.
Yeah, I mean, like Overwatch has skins, sprays, voice packs, emotes, and all that. As part of this update, there are a few new items that have been released. There's Battleground Announcer packs, hero lines, or hero voice lines, sprays, hero-specific emojis, and banners. So not only is it going to be...
Like the buzzword for today is
emojis.
Hey, we've got emojis in
Yay! I mean, so there's a lot that's... This is actually a realistically very huge update and also a brand new hero. This is a huge update, and it adds a lot of cool stuff. I mean, we like to play the game to begin with. This actually makes the game far more enjoyable. I mean, A, you level up quicker, and B, there's actually a reward system now. I mean, I'm still playing Overwatch to the point now where like I'm like closer to level 70. I'm like, and I still get this little joy inside my heart whenever I see loot chest achieved. I'm like, yay! You see,
one of the comments on this article that I'm looking at, someone says, I thought the unlocking system was actually pretty good in this game, but I'm not complaining about this. And that's exactly where I am. Like, I thought that I was like, okay, yeah, I'm earning X amount of gold. It's a free game, so I understand that they're going to be like, hey, look, shell out $5 for this skin. It's like, yeah, that's probably the only way they're making money.
I mean, I guess I could understand.
Now they're just opening the door.
I guess I could understand that, but I would have much preferred it even in the previous system if it was like, you need like an obscene amount of gold to get the gold level skin, or at least like level 100 or something stupid. But I still would have liked
change that makes me really happy.
Yeah. But I mean, also the fact that since there is a leveling change now, there will be far more frequent loot chests. So hey, everyone's happy. I think this is a really cool update. I mean, unfortunately, if you haven't
played Heroes of the Storm yet, it's probably the easiest MOBA to get into.
Yeah, just literally ask this guy over here.
I freaking hated MOBAs, and this is the one that made me say, maybe hashtag not all MOBAs, you know. Maybe there could be, because I think you were the one who said that this basically gets to the good parts of a
basically
MOBA.
Yeah, I mean it's all fighting all the time. There's no item progression. I mean, the most you have to do is kind of gauge on what skills you buff. That's it.
They're all over myself here.
I mean, that's really the only thing you got to worry about is every time you level up, you get to choose different ability modifiers, and that's it. Besides that, you just fight, and you just get straight to fighting. It's all fighting all the time.
And also, I was able to finally, with Kerrigan, find a character that I was like, all of this, everything that her abilities are, these make sense to me. This I connect with. Because I had played, I remember it was like ETC in particular. I was like, oh, this is so frustrating. This is not working.
I mean, he is a giant, bull with a guitar.
I should love him, and I hate him. But, yeah, so definitely, it's free. God, this might as well be our free game of the week.
That's the game about that.
Yeah, Heroes of the Storm is really great. We both have a good time with it. Individually, too. I enjoy playing it alone with the AI. That's the thing. So, it's fun. Hots. It's a hot game.
It's a hot game of hots.
What other games could possibly be getting substantial updates? Are there any out there?
Well, now that you mention it, little Timmy. No. Elite Dangerous, another game that constantly just kind of creeps itself back up in our cast. It's getting a really big update. I'm trying to remember what the heck it's called. It's a new Commanders update. 2.3.
Oh, I thought it was the Elite Dangerous Commanders update. No, it's the Elite Dangerous Commanders.
And if it's Commanders and
introducing Dangerous
Commanders. That would actually would have been a fun update. But so there's not, at least in the article that we have, there's not a ton of information on this update. It's basically that this update, which will be launching mid-April, actually will be giving characters the option to create their own character, which has been needed in Elite Dangerous for a long, long, long time. Really long time. And also it does give us multi-crew missions or ships. I forget how they...
Ships.
Yeah. I forget how they worded it. But it's basically, you're now able to do multi-crew, which is kind of similar to Star Citizen. So I don't know if this is literally just like Elite Dangerous when they first launched, had a very basic operating system. Then they're like, oh crap, Star Citizen's getting a lot of press. Let's add in some stuff. I don't know.
I'm still happy that they added space buses. They added.
There literally are space limos. There's a space limo mission that you could. There's a mission you can only do if you have the swanky ship. There's a ship that has an interior that only celebrities like, and that's
like a space cruise ship. Basically.
Yeah, and you need this ship in order to do certain types of transport missions for big name diplomats and celebrities. It's oh no,
I would do that.
Yeah, me on the other hand, no, I didn't actually. I have maybe not a long history with this game. I played the game kind of religiously for 2-3 weeks, and then I'm just I'm done, and I stopped it.
Delete, in all honesty, is something that I've like continuously said I should just really pick that up. I should just really bite the bullet and buy it. I should just really get that. And it's like, I'm like, that's exactly it. Like, I trust that though. I trust you when you say that.
What?
It's like, I believe you. I hope I'm facing the right direction. Hi Brian.
What?
How are you? I believe you when you say that because, like, I was tweeting back and forth with Mike Laidlaw, the creative director of, like, Dragon Age 2 and them.
Name dropping.
Games. And, well, it's just, but, because he was talking about it, and I said, look, sell me on this game. Tell me why I should play this game. And it's like, I know that people have said, hey, it's like Euro Truck Simulator. Do you like Euro Truck Simulator? I'm like, fucking love Euro Truck Simulator. I'm like, okay, you'd like that. But he was saying, like, okay, there's also bounty hunting. There's also, the smuggling and stuff like that. To me, why I like Euro Truck Simulator, a game like Euro Truck Simulator, which is literally, hey, you're a delivery man. You have product. You got to drive from town A to town B. And, it's not really like it's pretty. It's okay. It's appealing enough, but it's not like, wow, look at that. Wow, look at this. But I put on music, it's like, if it's a good time to listen to podcasts or listen to just, actually what I really do in Euro Truck Simulator specifically is I tune into local radio stations for wherever I'm driving through. So I'm like listening to, a Paris pop station, and you're hearing the DJs just, chatting away in French, and you're just like, while I'm driving through, like, Nice, and it's just like, oh, this is really cool. It's like I'm there, I like that sense of tourism in a game. Like, hey, I'm actually really here. Elite, it's not like I could tune into, like, Uranus's local station.
Hey.
But,
Heyo.
But, like, there is just something about it that makes me think, okay, is that level of Zen like just one shade too Zen, where it's like I am driving through the inky blackness of space just to deliver a product?
The few good things that I've ever heard about Elite Dangerous is a lot of people have said that it's literally when they do transport or trading or some of these like this like fetch missions, they'll use it to listen to the podcast. They'll put on a podcast and just jet, like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time, it's like, do I really want a game that's just like literally like something that my hands can do while I'm listening to a podcast? You know what I mean? It's like,
right. Like, I listen to podcasts. Truthfully, I do deliveries in real life, like on Friday mornings. That's something I do in my actual real life. IRL. And so that's like, okay, I literally have to be in a car for X amount of hours. I might as well listen to podcasts, and that's sort of
exactly
my time to catch up on music and things like that. Where this would be like, okay, well, I have stuff to listen to. I'm now going to take time out of my days, which I don't really have, just to give myself, like you said, something for my hands to do. Something.
Yeah, it's weird. It's too much to spend to have like a podcast game waster kind of thing. It's like, that's the thing. I mean,
I understand it, but like for my life, it doesn't.
Like, I remember like when Elite first came out, there was a mission where like you literally had a hyperspace for like 10 minutes or something stupid. Like, it was insane.
There's that one mission in GTA 5. I've been doing a lot of thinking about GTA 5 as a game recently, and that's a really good one, but that's like for another podcast. But there's that one mission in GTA 5 where Trevor and Lamar and Franklin are like driving a truck. I think, isn't it like it's a one of those like hauling cars kind of trucks where you have multiple cars in the back, and you literally drive from one side of the map to the other. But what they do is the entire time, that's a good length of time. That takes a long time to drive, especially if you play like I do, and it's like, oh, red light, stop, because I am
meow.
But what they do is the whole time, it's really cool. Like, Franklin just takes a nap, and Trevor, you're playing as Trevor, and Lamar have just this really funny conversation. Like, just this typical, like, dude's in a car, we got a long-ass drive ahead, so let's just talk. kind of conversation. And I was just like, wow, this is so great. Like, this is really cool. I don't know if it was great because of the conversation, because of what I was doing. I don't know. The whole combination worked, you know. But that was in the middle of GTA. I know that 5 minutes before that, I was shooting a friggin', you know, civilian in the street, and 5 minutes after that, I was shooting bad guys and police officers. You know, that's the GTA loop. So it was in the middle of this action-packed game. You know what I'm saying? Where Elite or something like that. If that's the game.
Like I said, I didn't start enjoying Elite.
I like the idea of this update, I should specify. Yeah. I like the idea of creating a character and stuff like that.
Like I said, I didn't start enjoying Elite until I started bounty hunting, where I literally just started purely focusing on combat. And even then, it got a little dry because I basically, I don't know if it was on my fault, if it was self-sustained. I just didn't feel like I was doing anything in the universe, which is its biggest downfall. Like something like Eve, where it's like 100% player-controlled economy and all that. I think Elite has put in updates, if I do remember, to kind of give people that kind of level of control, or that at least a level of feel. I don't know how much of it there actually is. And to be fair, I haven't played Elite in at least like 3-4 years, something like that. I mean, it
came out like 2013. Like,
yeah,
properly.
I played like a little bit right after it came out, but yeah, like I said, I haven't played it about like a month or two after it launched. So, like I said, my information isn't the newest, but I did love the dogfighting. The dogfighting, at least when it was launched, was really great. It was a lot of fun, and that was really cool. And then I basically got the best tier ship I could get. I kind of pimped it out. And then after that, I kind of just...
Like, that's the kind of thing that would keep me going. It's like, oh, but there's a better ship I could get.
And they have added ships. I mean, there's probably would be reasons for it. I mean, I really wanted to kind of jump into it again back when they started... They gave, like, the party system. Like I said, like, you could literally be a trucker and I could be, like, your escort kind of thing. Like, that was about the only other thing that made me want to try this again. But,
I like the idea of the space trucker. I mean, it's so weird, because I'm saying all this, and, like, I friggin' lost hours and hours and hours to No Man's Sky last year, and all I was doing in that was land on planet, take pictures of weird animals, name that plant. Okay, let's do that somewhere else now. I don't know. Something about that was... Maybe because that was constantly giving me something new.
Hooray, you did it!
New. Yeah, it's like, I've landed on this planet. This is now Tomtopia number 27. Hey, look at that weird-ass animal. What do you want to name him? Weird-ass animal. Okay, cool. You know, you've named an animal. And you're right, it is this kind of like, ding, you did a thing. Ding, you did another
Dora
thing.
the Explorer. Congratulations, you did it! Hooray!
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I'm messing with predictions. Yes, thank you, Danny.
Boo.
Chat. Yes, thank you. Something about just this kind of like, boop, new plant. Whoa, I haven't identified this one. You know, even if I don't name it, it's just like, boop,
I need to.
whoa, you know,
I need to bring in.
rock.
I need to find some ringers to bring into this cast.
I stacked the decks.
Yeah, that's exactly how you're doing it. But speaking of things that you absolutely love, there is a new game-based movie coming out that Tom has an extremely great opinion of. We Happy Few is actually getting a movie adaptation made by the same people that are going to be doing the Sleeping Dog and Sonic movies. How do you feel about that, Tom?
Okay, compliment sandwich. I'm glad that there's interest in making a movie about the concept of the video game We Happy Few. I'm glad that someone could say, huh, this is neat. This would be a really good movie. Okay. However, that movie already fucking exists. That's what I thought We Happy Few came from. The movie Brazil, Terry Gilliam film from 1980s, 1985. Amazing, essential film. Never watched it. Watch it. It's weird. It's a little disturbing. It's very disturbing, but like, this is, you know, one of those top 20 movies you should watch before you die kind of movies. Like, incredible film. Very specifically dark British humor. Like, there's a certain flavor of satirical British humor. This is like the cornerstone for it, like the codifier for it. But the whole concept of Brazil is what I thought inspired We Happy Few.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. So, and not to say that Brazil is the only film about like bureaucratic dystopia, or rather, I guess that's what the thing is Brazil is bureaucratic dystopia, where We Happy Few is like it starts off with that, but obviously the guy kind of breaks out and just goes into the world. I still haven't played We Happy Few.
Yeah, neither have I.
It didn't seem like it's improved since its initial kind of negative early access reviews. Still waiting. Who knows? Something could happen. But anyway, yeah. If you want to see a movie on We Happy Few, go watch Brazil. It's fucking great. Very, very unsettling movie, but really good. However, I didn't know that the same team was doing the Sleeping Dogs movie with Donnie Yen.
Woo!
A Sonic movie, and a Life is Strange TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Life is Strange I've only played a little bit of. I'm eager to finish that, but I really liked what I played of that. That's very much a TV show. Life is Strange probably would lend well to like a Netflix or Hulu series or something.
Yeah,
like
it's surprising that there people are investing so heavily into a video game movie / TV market when historically they have not done well.
Yeah, I
at
mean,
all.
Sleeping Dogs is another one though that like when we were talking about this when it was first announced, Sleeping Dogs is based off of Hong Kong cinema, right down to specific things like the character having a butcher knife in this one scene. You know, it's like, oh my god, that's straight out of Old Boy. I can never remember what it was. But it's like it's so weird. We're in this like era of reboots and soft reboots and remakes,
and literally a reboot of reboot.
Yeah, like, and it's like, hey, let's take the inspiration that inspired us and go back to that medium. It's like,
yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's being pushed for Square Enix.
It actually, I think you're right. Yeah.
Cool. Good. I mean, I don't know. I think that's good. Life is Strange. I'm really eager to finish that. I've only played the first episode of it, and actually, it was a demo for it or something. I just instantly bought it as soon as I finished the demo. I was like, yeah, absolutely.
We need more demos.
Wow!
Speaking of,
some news for you. Dishonored 2 is getting a free demo on April 6th. However, we may not have it forever.
Ooh.
If you remember, Doom last year did a timed free demo, like it was like a demo for a month or something like that. You could only play it for a month. I just want to pause really quick because I do want to acknowledge.
Yeah, I actually didn't like any of those movies either.
I do want to acknowledge what May's saying in chat, which is, I'm going to read this out loud for the sake of our audio podcast listeners. The dialogue going on here.
We all thank you.
Life is Strange is so good, and I think the show is being produced by Square Enix, which you said yes. Danny said it was good, brought a single tear to my eye. Wow, that's how you know it's real. And then May goes on to say, it's questionable. Square Enix making movies based off of Final Fantasy were always really weird and subpar considering how big of a company it is.
Which I definitely agree with. I have the only Final Fantasy movies I ever really liked were like a third. It was like a third party, like weird little space dragon spirit Final Fantasy crap, which it was all kind of off.
Wait, I missed that. Which one?
I forget what it was. Like the very first one, it wasn't like really Final Fantasy. It literally just had Final Fantasy in the title. It was a weird little like I don't know. Anyway, keep going.
Children is the only one that I've seen.
Now, there's another one ahead of that. It was a really old movie, but it was meh.
Yeah, Advent Children's the only one I've seen, and I actually it's really funny because like coupled with the DVD of that, I remember I watched it with my girlfriend at the time, and she's like, "Have you ever played Final Fantasy VII?" I said, "No." Like, oh, okay. And there was a literal like, she's like, "Oh yeah, there's this little side thing in the DVD's extra content that tells you the story of Final Fantasy VII," and I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll watch that." And it was
that one, yeah, Spirits Within.
It was like 3 hours long of just all the cutscenes from Final Fantasy VII, and anything that happened in like gameplay, it just had text. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't know. When you're playing a game like that, it makes more sense because you're getting it drip fed.
Yeah, Spirits Within.
Every single plot line shoved in your face in rapid succession. I was like, who's the one with the big sword? I know that guy. I've seen him in pictures. Like, that's really exposing me as someone who's not I'm Final Fantasy ignorant. That's my title, Final Fantasy ignorant.
Hashtag Tom.
Yeah. But anyway, just to bring it completely full circle, yes, Dishonored 2, free demo. Spoiler alert, it's really great. I haven't finished it.
I was gonna say, when's the last time you played, considering you were like Captain Dishonored for forever.
I am Captain Dishonored. I'm Corporal Captain Dishonored. I'm Officer Captain Dishonored.
Unless there's a Mass Effect game out.
Well, it just like, here's the thing though. If you remember, Dishonored 2, when it first released, did not work on my machine because it was incompatible with my processor, and that did it. Like, because I was so prepared for the release of that day, and Titus, isn't he the one with like, isn't there a meme of him laughing like that or something?
For what now?
Titus.
Oh, Titus? Yeah, he has one of the... Him and Luna have one of the... Not Luna. Yeah. You have one of the more interesting laugh scenes where they literally are just like laughing at the world, but it's like, but yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, you know. Okay, I was right. But yeah, it was, But Final Fantasy X is definitely one of my top tier Final Fantasies. I've loved that game. I absolutely loved that game.
That's right. I remember that. You had that was like your MySpace background, right? Wasn't it?
Oh.
Like, I feel like I have to look at you to say this. You're not even in the same state as me.
I forgot about that. Why did you have to do that?
Because that was a great picture. It was like the celestial.
Yeah, it was one of the ones where in there. Oh, not when they're in the spirit fields, but one of the ones right before the spirit fields, and like one of the like little like moon pool things with all the lightning bugs and all that. That.
I just got the video. I'm sorry, I'm watching the video right now. That's so good. Oh, yeah, I'm pulling up MySpace for sheets on MySpace.com.
I don't know. Why is our chat set to like not show links? I don't know what that is. But
oh no, I see it.
Oh really? I don't see it. Either way.
Yeah, I regret seeing it.
Yeah, but it's I forgot about that. Yeah, I had a MySpace all for like 5 minutes when I accidentally like somehow set my password wrong twice, and I never was able to unlock it again.
I'm going to give this guy some credit here because he was the first person that I knew that used Facebook. I swear to God, you were the
what up? Yeah.
First being
Bam.
I ever knew. You were like, hey, I'm on this website, the Facebook.
The Facebook.
Check it out.
Yeah, that's what. That is my internet cred right there. Bam.
I mean, I was MySpace Tom, and oh my God, it's a 10-hour version of the video.
Why is there a 10-hour version? Who needs that in their lives? Oh, that's terrible.
Okay, stop now. You can stop.
How could you fall asleep to that? You're gonna wake up psychotic. Okay, never mind. Point taken.
Anyway, I'm going to try and steer this back on track here. Dishonored. I saw Danny said that Dishonored was great. Dishonored is one of my favorites. I love Dishonored so much, and I was really excited for Dishonored 2. I was super ready for the release. Like I replayed Dishonored. I finished the DLC. I was all ready, and it came out, and it didn't initially work on my computer. And they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll patch it in like a month or something." And just the train left the station. So I did like start it up. I played maybe the first 2 missions, and fun fact, the demo will let you play the first 3 missions, so you'll be able to know more than I do. As someone who's like one of the world's biggest Dishonored nerds. Dishonored is really great. If you've never played it, this is a great opportunity. it's weird because I haven't played enough of it to say like, oh, you have to play the first one. I don't really know if you really have to play the first one.
Meh.
This does kind of come in and it's like, here's Corvo and here's his daughter Emily, you know, which is actually a spoiler because like Dishonored was like, oh man, Corvo and this little girl, the Empress's daughter. Yes, the Empress's daughter. Boy, she and Corvo really got quite the relationship, you know what I mean? Like the synergy here. And oh yes, him and the Empress. Haha, yes. They totally fucked, you know, and it's like,
wink.
Oh, that's his daughter, you know. Dishonored is great. I love it. I'm just glad to see another free demo.
Huzzah to that. And take a little break. Okay, little break. Do quick playlists and call it a day. Call it a night. Call it a I should have been asleep a half hour ago.
Call it Tuesday. Just so you guys know, it's 11:35 here.
Whoever you may or may not be out there in TV land. I forgot about that MySpace thing. You can still find it. I forgot about that. I've tracked it down not too long ago, just because.
So this is like prime time for me, but I know that Brian has like a life.
I'm not on opposite schedule. You over there. Don't you look at me like that. I will reach across this. But okay. We good? Playlist?
Yep.
Recording. And moving right along.
Oh, sorry. We're just chatting over you.
Come on.
Go for it.
This is why we coordinate these things prior to launching these stupid recordings again. Moving right along into the playlists, hopefully to let me go to sleep again. But they actually chained me to this desk chair. I need to leave. But no, I had
about goddamn Mass Effect.
all the Mass Effects. But the main thing I wanted to highlight in my playlist is a little game called Clone Drone in the Danger Zone. Awesome little like $12, $15 title. I would recommend this.
A little bit about it last week.
Yeah, I was talking about it because of the Twitch mode that I watched another Twitch streamer do, and it's like, you know what? I want to try this game out, and I would recommend this game to anybody. Like I think it might be a few dollars expensive for some people, but I would say if you ever have a chance to buy this game, go out and buy it. It is just a fun little like arena brawler. Like literally, like you're this little like robot dude with like a lightsaber. And you have different upgrades that you can unlock. You can upgrade, like you can move faster, you can deflect arrows, you can unlock like a massive two-handed warhammer, a bow, jetpacks. Your sword can be set on fire, and it's always every single level is randomly generated, but it gets harder and harder and harder. Like, you know, the very first time it's a bunch of just like level 1 sword dudes, and eventually you're fighting Spider-Bot 6 or Spider-Tron 6000 with like 5 archers, a jetpack, like two-handed warhammer guy, and it just gets progressively harder. And it is just fun because this game, the combat is surprisingly like intriguing and complex and intricate in the sense of like you have to time the fact that you have horizontal and vertical slashes, like, and if your swords meet up, they deflect off of each other. But also, like, if you like slice horizontally through a guy and you like dodge his sword and just cleave through him, wherever your sword hits is where his body breaks apart. That is the thing I love. Like,
I always like that.
Yeah, like literally, like you could slice off just his arm. You could slice, like, if you could slice him diagonally if you somehow timed it right. Like, literally, wherever you hit anybody is where they fall apart. Oh yeah, like, literally, you could chop off just his head. You could slice his body clean in two. Like you could slice his body down a little bit off center. You could literally just sit there with his dead body, just chop him up into dice his body up. I mean, it's just a fun little game. Like, I really love this. And the thing that I will probably be debuting later this week on literally this Twitch account, I'm going to be dry running the Twitch mode that I was talking about last week, which is basically, it lets people who watch the Twitch stream fuck with the Twitch streamer. Like, literally, they earn points, and then they can just spawn whatever they want with the points they earned. So, like, I could be like, man, this...
I'm probably going to be coming in and fucking...
Literally, bring it. That's what the point of this is. Like, people could literally make the very first ever level... Yeah, like, you could literally take the very first level bronze tier and just make it into an insane battle. Like, literally, you have no upgrades, no nothing, and someone can spawn the hardest enemy in the game just to... That's the thing. Like, you could literally bet.
You guys in chat, you're hearing this. We're gonna all come in and we're gonna
Do it. Like, you could literally go. Because you could literally bet. I bet that all my money or all like the bits that you get, whatever the heck it is. I think it's free, so you don't have to like bet real money. So don't worry about that. But you can actually like spend all of the points that you accumulated on like bronze level, and then literally first stage stack the deck to try to get him to die first level, so you can like double up your money or something stupid. And you literally can just keep it going and going and going. But you know, if you're a nice person, you can actually buy them lives as well. I mean, but it's cool. I wish other games would do this. I love the fact that there's this cool little Twitch interface, and like that's the other thing.
That's awesome.
Like the guys you spawn will have your name over the top of it, and like if you put like a little emote on it, like it'll have it on his head. So like literally your character could be the one that kills the Twitch streamer. So like it's fun. I love that. I think it's so cool. It literally is the most interactive a game can get.
Sounds fake, but okay.
That sounds fake, but it is. It's just how it works. I will link a video that proves how it works. I will prove this crap. But no, seriously, I would love. Thanks for the follow. Woo! You're now a loot addict. Okay, but yeah, I will prove.
We coordinated that.
You have no idea how much we coordinated for that. But no, seriously, this weekend, maybe even Friday, I will be doing a few hours. I'll just be playing this game. Come watch me play and then try to screw with me. More than happy. Would love to see what comes up out of it.
Awesome.
Throwing it over to you now. Right over there.
Okay.
That one.
All been playing anything. I have literally only been playing Mass Effect, and I never do this. Like, here's the thing. Like, when there's a big AAA game out, that's the only, like, AAA game that I play, or, like, big game that I play. But I'll still, like, say I was playing something, I'd just be like, okay, but you know what? Tonight I'm going to play Overwatch, or tonight I'm going to go through a couple of different indies and stuff like that. I have not played another video game besides Mass Effect for the past, 3 weeks now.
It's about so right, yeah. I mean, not much.
So good.
I mean, I've been doing the same way. The only reason why I played something else was because I didn't have enough time to put my whole night into Mass Effect. Like, I have a half hour to play. I can't do Mass Effect.
May just put out. Persona 5's coming out tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
That's coming out here in the US of A. Yeah, Mass Effect, it's really tough because I hit probably like one of my highest points right now, which is Liam's loyalty mission. Holy fuck, Danny's playing Night in the Woods. Hell yes.
Oh, don't get him started. It took me this long to get him on the playlist.
I want you to tell me what you think of Night.
Okay.
Here.
And
Liam's loyalty mission.
Mute.
He's so nice.
I'm trying to get him to talk.
Mass Effect, Liam's loyalty mission. I want to talk about one specific thing that made me laugh out loud, but it's spoilers for everyone. Well, it's not spoilers, but it's a moment.
I tried so hard not to spoil before.
Yeah, and I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to spoil it. But once you get the chance to do Liam's loyalty mission, it's surprisingly hilarious. Liam, but this mission just, I don't know, they just pulled out all of a sudden all these, references and just really genuinely funny things that were like, oh my god, Mass Effect Andromeda already is, really funny, especially compared to other Mass Effects, but in general...
I mean, yeah, Ryder themselves are funny.
Yeah, it's kind of just a genuinely funny game. Genuinely funny game in its kind of everything. But it's just, his mission is called All In, and he starts kind of saying,
wink, wink.
Hey, Ryder, I'm in the middle of some stuff. Don't mind me. Don't ask what I'm doing. Don't worry about it. And then the next time you talk to him, he's like, everything's fine. Everything's cool. Everything's going great. And then the third time when you initiate the mission, he's like, okay, Ryder, something maybe not all that cool might have happened. and it just like ramps up, and it's clever, it's funny. It does almost like Titanfall level of like, oh, huh, okay, that just happened. So if you've played Titanfall 2 single player campaign, you'll know what I mean. Not to the level of affecting cause, but it just does things where you're like, Star Wars references.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. Can we talk about how great Jaal is?
Oh my god. Playlist. Tom.
No, this is Mass Effect. This is related.
Oh, Jaal. Yeah. Jaal. Yeah. Okay,
Jaal
yeah.
is Mass Effect. I have been so set on the fact that I was going to romance Vetra, and I still am. I love Vetra. I am a
really Vetra. Okay, yeah. Okay.
I am a little bit offended because anyone who knows me knows that I share screenshots of my rider
every other day. Yeah, 5 seconds.
And I was Samantha Shale, who was on our podcast a few months ago now. I sent her a picture of Vetra, and I was like, "Look at my space babe," and she goes, "I bet she has a great personality." I was like, "Oh, how dare you!"
I'm not a Vetra fan either, but
fucking excuse me. For starters, I can think of that moment in Emperor's New Groove where he was like you. Oh, let me guess, you have a great
I love that scene. Let me guess, you have a great personality. No, never.
Vetra and my rider are gonna be space babe, pirate babes in space forever. I love her. Go into Vetra's room. She's got just an open, like, storage box of cereal. Like, I was just
judging. I feel like I'm outnumbered here. This is a shame.
I love her. I love Drac. I think that he's hilarious.
Drac is cool. I like Drac.
Hebe is super freaking cute, but I feel like Jaal is like I feel like Jaal is like essential. Like no story spoilers.
You have to take him. Like there's.
I feel like you have to take him with you. And I thought that like Vetra and Drac were gonna be like my team, and they kind of still are, but.
I like pairing them together, but I still RPG my crew choices. But Jaal is in a lot of them most of the time, especially considering a lot of the main story quests, at least where I'm at, you need to have them. Oh, calm down. I legitimately accidentally... I got to that point and yeah, I'm surprised because we had it on uncensored. But either way, I actually...
Danny censored himself.
Oh, well... Yeah, well, considering we're on this now, my actual relationship choice...
We're talking about space sex.
My actual relationship choice was also PB, but I actually, when it came to that escape pod scene, I chose to do the romance option, which isn't actually to do it in the space pod, which I thought was funny. She's like, just right now, it can be, as long as there's no string attached, we can just do it right now. But I'm like, but I want strings. And they're like, okay. And then it just keeps progressing. But it was the coolest little scene. I love that escape pod scene. Oh my god. That was like, be still my beating heart. But
I don't know if it's like I don't have.
I was really hoping, since I was playing the Male Rider, that one scene when Vetra's talking to her younger sister, I thought I could have sworn there was going to be an option that's going to like, hey, what's your younger sister like? I was so...
That's really random. It's like one of the Angaran, like the Angaran governor or something.
No, the museum curator.
The museum curator, right?
Yeah.
I was just like, you can romance her?
Yeah, like how does this work? Like, where do we do that? Never mind, I'm not even going to ask.
Hey, good segue. I love the museum on Aya, rather.
Yep, Ara. Yeah.
That's like calling Earth human. I love the museum on Aya, and this got me thinking how much I love those kinds of friggin' things in video games. Like, I love dull spaces in video games. Like an art gallery, like a bathroom, I don't care. Like, give me something that's like, okay, yeah, this room gives me, like, no, the museum kind of gives you a little bit, definitely some flavoring and stuff. But like a bathroom, a closet, things like that, a basement, like non-functional, give me those space. Yes, it's just so normal, and it's like it instantly sells me as like, well, this is a real space. That's where they keep their space shit. That's where they do their space shit. Is that bathroom? It's like I love that about the Tempest, like that you can just walk through and it's like, yep, there's the showers, there's the weirdly dirty toilet. There are the lockers. Look, there's a linen closet. Look, there's actual like unkempt laundry over here.
I found Plants vs. Zombies stuffies on somebody's bed.
Yeah, everything, the emails, the like message board kind
Those
of
are fun.
That they have. That's so cool.
I told you not to touch my stuff, and you totally touched my stuff.
Yeah, it's just really great. I love the different emails that you get because they're super like, hey, Ryder, I know that we talked once about my essay on different types of soils. Here's a 5,600.
Oh, that was a great one. Yeah.
Like PDF of my soil discoveries, and it's just like that's like so real. Like you talk to someone in real life, like, hey, I remember we had that one conversation. Here's something that you really probably don't care about. Thank you. Delete. Yeah, I think that Andromeda does such a good job at selling you on it, but just in general, like to come back to the idea of museums, I really get off on that. It's so weird, and I didn't even like. I like Aya in general. I like its design, but I just Gil stuff. Gil with poker is funny too. Like I like indie games that are like museum exhibits because it's like there's actually one part of why I'm talking about this is Pippin Bar released this thing that at first I was like, what the fuck? It's different. It's a video game museum exhibit of different waters in video games, and it's literally like you walk into a big hall and there are little like stands where you can look in, and there's like the like nameplate on it, and it says like this water was made by so and so using Unity, and it uses these kinds of shaders, and it's just like nerdy stuff. But then you go and you look at another one, and it's like, oh, that's the water from like Super Mario Sunshine, and then you go and you say, oh, that's like Minecraft's water. There are so many different types of video game water, and it's like being in a real life space of like looking around, even though it's in a video game. You're just kind of like, huh, I appreciate this. It's just like, it's so dumb and dull, but it's just like, in real life, you go into a museum and you're like, wow, look at this pot from ancient Greece. Look at this. This was a toy made by an ancient Egyptian. Wow, I appreciate that this stuff is all in one place for me to look at. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Mass Effect for doing that. Not that like BioWare is gonna hear me, but like give me more weird, boring, or abstract spaces like that. But not abstract, like straightforward spaces. I don't know. I dig that stuff. So. It's that magical time of the episode where we give away a free video game. And this week, we have 2. Because Brian wrote something in the Google Doc because I didn't have something there. So, the first game that we're giving away is this cutting-edge new thing called Tic-Tac-Toe. That's the joke. Now, the second game that we actually have, that we're showcasing, now basically what we do at this point is we just talk about a game that I played. That's like, hey,
most likely, yeah.
You can go play it, and I suggest it. And this is called Tracks. And what this is, do you remember, Brian?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember those little wooden railroad tracks?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like modular.
I'm looking at the game right now. Yeah.
They kind of plug together like puzzle pieces almost. And you had just like a little wooden train, and you.
Mm-hmm. You can push it along.
Like a little kid, you would have this kind of stuff. Or you'd see it somewhere, like someone would set it up. This is that in a video game.
It looks like oh, look at that! Looks so cool.
It's just this pure nostalgia, and it's just like you can spawn like a bedroom kind of setting. So you've got like a bunk bed and a table and a radiator and a little desk and stuff, and you just have unlimited ability to lay these tracks, kind of like Roller Coaster Tycoon, right? Where you just can be like, okay, now go up, now go up, now go around, and then you can go onto the train, the little wooden toy train, and go around on your track. And it's just, that's all it is. But, like, in terms of, oh, this takes me back to being a little kid, and just laying these out and like, oh, I'm gonna make this one like curve around and go all crazy, and it's gonna double back on itself and have a bridge that goes over, and oh my god, now I can ride it. So it's like the fun of Roller Coaster Tycoon, especially like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. I think it was the one that introduced riding the roller coasters. So it's tracks. We'll link it in the show notes on our website, which is
addictedtoloot.com, where you can find all things addicted to loot.
Addicting. We've got so many drugs on our website.
And next week you're going to see Addicted to Loot podcast taken down due to drug paraphernalia references. But anyway, addictedtoloot.com, where from there you can find links to our Facebook, YouTube, there's Twitch if you haven't found it already, where we actually host our podcasts, meaning SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. You can get our personal email, which is addictedtoloot@gmail.com. You could find our group Twitter, which is Addicted to Loot. That is the number 2. My personal, which is right here, it's at @fifth_atomic 0, FITH_atomic 0. His is at Tomality, TOMALITY. And of course, as always, we have been Addicted to Loot. We would love to hear from you. Please drop us an email, Twit, anything, Facebook message, anything you want.
Guys.
Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for making this even better. We couldn't do it without you. Would love to get some more questions, comments, anything really from you. So please drop us a line. Tell us a game that you're excited for, a game that you hate, something that you really agreed with us, or something you really just did not agree with us. Give us a vote for your free game of a week. Who knows? But anyway, we have been Addicted to Loot. Thank you for joining us, and Tommy?
Keep it in the escape pod.
That was actually probably your first, appropriate,
We were talking about that. I was like, yes, I've got one.
That's the very first good one. And on that bombshell, see you next week.